Hey folks, John Kelly. Welcome back to the Law Enforcement Life Coach Sometimes Heroes Need Help podcast. This podcast is being brought to you by On Target Claims, where their motto is on target from setback to settlement. Now listen, a little background. I've worked with these guys on the job, on the street for over 25 years, man, and they have always done the right thing and have always had my back. Now, in this second chapter, let them have your back. Right? You wouldn't go to court without an attorney. Why would you go up against an insurance company without representation, right? They represent you, the policyholder, when you go up against an insurance company submitting a claim. And I can tell you this, right? From beginning to end, they're going to be with you during the entire process. They're going to properly document that claim with the latest technology. And then when it comes time to getting things fixed, they've got a complete stable of vendors that are certified that are going to get it done right the first time. They also offer a pre-loss planning and policy review. So you know exactly what you're covered for, right? Make sure that you're adequately covered. The time to find out that you're not isn't after that horrific event. Okay. So give my friends a call at On Target Claims, 561-208-1775, or go to their website, ontargetclaims.com. They cover the entire state of Florida, offices in Fort Lauderdale and Tampa, and tell them John sent you. And now let's get to the episode. Hey, folks, John Kelly, welcome back to the Law Enforcement Life Coach Sometimes Heroes Need Help podcast. Listen, I am super excited. Listen, I have amazing guests always. But some guests, Jan, just get me fired up. And Monty Bynum is that guy, the wealthy servant. He has been, man, when you look at a life, Marine Corps, GBI, law enforcement, military, you want to talk about a servant leader? Look up Monty, man. And he has developed this program. It's actually a lifestyle. I mean, I don't want to call it a program. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of empowering individuals that maybe are a little unsure about being an entrepreneur, right? Big word. Don't ask me how to spell it because I'll mess it up. But man, you working for you. How about that? You working for you with the wealthy servant. Help me in welcoming Monty Bynum to the Law Enforcement Life Coach Sometimes Heroes Need Help podcast. Brother!
Wow, man. Bro, look, no pressure there.
No!
I'm like, who is this dude? This
man.
John is introducing somebody that is.
No, man, you know who he is, man.
Wow,
You're
no
awesome.
pressure, man. I love your energy, dude. I love your podcast. I love your energy, and I love what you're doing. Thank you so much for having me, and I greatly appreciate it. We've been talking for a while.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, and I'm so excited to be on here, man. Thank you.
No, it's my pleasure, man. So listen, we started talking back a year ago.
Yeah,
probably long, right?
Yeah,
and we were talking kind of before we officially launched that, like, COVID was messed up for a lot of people. It's horrible, but it created a way of connecting with people that you would never have in a million years.
Right.
And so we're a byproduct of that.
Yeah.
And so I'm thankful and blessed that things happened the way they did. And before we jump into all the amazing things that you're doing for a lot of people, but of course, near and dear to your heart are our first responders and that that law enforcement guy or gal that's out there. But before we get into what you're doing now, because dude, I'm all jacked up about that. This is it's so needed.
Yeah.
It's so needed. You just doing your job, working a detail, that ain't cutting it, man. It ain't cutting it. And so investing, I love the concept of investing in you, man. Right.
Yeah.
And so before we get there, man, because once we get there, we're not looking back. A little bit about you in your past. And don't worry, Mrs. Kelly just rolled up and the dogs are losing their minds in the background, but it's all good, man. It's all good.
It's awesome. Yeah. So, you and I, we're the same age, about the same age there. And I started law enforcement, actually Ocean City, Maryland. I was a seasonal cop.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see. So you were one of the summer guys.
yeah, I was. I went down to like college. That's how they got all the college students down there. You had to be a criminal justice major. And what was cool, man, was they would hire all these, college, students down there. And you went through this shortened academy. You had a gun, you had a badge, man. It was wild.
That's
It was
awesome.
a dream thing. What was cool doing the academy? They come in and say, "Hey, we've got a couple spots in narcotics and CID. You had a chance to apply." So I applied. Believe it or not, there was only like two of us that applied to be
Come
in.
on, bro. Come
Oh
on.
my God, it was
You're
like the dream.
21 Jump Street, bro.
Yes, yes, it was awesome. So it was me and this other guy. There were two spots. The other guy, I don't know what happened. He freaked out like the first day. They told him about, well, you got to do this, you got to do this and this. And I was
Oh,
like, yes. This guy was like, hell no.
no,
My
that's funny.
uniform. Yeah. So that started my love of working undercover in
Right.
narcotics.
Can I interject for a second?
Yeah.
My first, so I'm the new guy on the
Mhm.
squad in
Mhm.
South Florida. I
Yeah.
mean, fucking day one, man. I'm the new guy. I
Right.
get pulled to work with SID
Oh,
undercover, right?
yeah.
I'm
Wow.
like, everybody in the room just does one of these.
Wow.
I'm working gay movie theaters. They throw me out there as gay bait with it wear some coaching shorts and a tank top on my
You're
first
right.
day. I go,
Wow.
what the hell, dude?
Was this some kind of initiation? That's interesting.
No,
Like,
I wish
get the new
it
guy.
was, bro.
Right, right.
They had me. They were doing a RICO case on
Yeah,
all these owners, and
yeah.
dude, it was.
Wow.
I was very successful. Let's just put it that way.
I don't know how to take that.
Not good, bro. Not good, man. So listen, I had
Oh,
to. That I will shut up now. That is
that is awesome.
my only stint in undercover was was not cool.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look
Tough,
at it.
man. Tough
That's
crowd.
awesome. That is awesome.
Oh
Yes, I started there, got the bug for working narcotics.
yeah.
Because of my success, I got asked by a neighboring city. They needed it was a very small department, about 12 guys. Half of them were corrupt, and the other half were okay.
Right.
So they
Right.
brought me in. It was the chief and the mayor, and I worked deep undercover for almost 9 months.
Wow.
We arrested like four of these officers that, I mean, they were like slinging crack on
Yeah.
duty.
No. No. We're
They,
not talking about giving somebody an
no,
extra shot
no,
during a.
no,
Yeah.
no, no,
No.
no, none of that. Like, I mean,
Right.
like they were way over the line.
Oh my God.
The city was just a hot mess. So then I came home to my hometown was Newcastle County, Delaware. I became a county cop. That was
Okay.
great. But the crazy thing was we had this wild shift. 7 days on, 1 day off, 7 days on, 2 days off, 7 days on, 3 days off. And it would rotate from day to night to morning watch. I could never get
Holy
it
smokes.
anything done. So yeah, I needed like 18 more credits to finish my degree.
Yeah.
And I was just looking around where at the time, just a lot of it was kind of bottlenecked. You couldn't really, go anywhere. Things weren't really moving. You couldn't get the detectives and all that. I was
Right.
like, so I quit, finished my degree, and then decided, you know what? I'm going to join the Marine Corps. So
Okay.
I went to OCS. I
Right.
begged. My grades weren't hot, so I
No.
ended.
No doubt. No doubt. I
No, I
got you.
was like, a perfect C, like 2.0 had to like, the thing they liked that got me in was the fact that I was a cop before. That got me in.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I earned the right to go down there and essentially try out to lead Marines.
Yeah,
It was
man.
amazing blessing. I loved it. What was cool is I was 30 going down there. I was getting in really great shape. I knew the program. You know how they break you down in the
Yeah.
academy.
No. I went through. I went through OCS in
Yeah.
'87. Yeah, man.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, man.
So it was fantastic. For me, I thoroughly enjoyed it. A deep, deep honor. Love the Corps.
Yeah.
It just runs through me. I love it. What they taught me about leadership. Did
Sure.
that for about 5.5, 6 years. Ran around, did all kind of different things.
Yep.
Started as an MP officer, then we moved over to intelligence, and that was right at 9/11 when everything was a hot mess and we needed all kind of things fixed.
Sure.
Did that for a while, and eventually, I decided, hey, it was time to come out. And um, my whole family had moved from Delaware down to Georgia.
Right.
And I landed in Georgia, and I ended up, missing law enforcement and came back into a town here just outside of Atlanta.
Yep.
Worked for about a year, but I felt like I was a big fish in a small pond. Moved over to a county force, which was amazing. It was a blessing. It was
Right.
awesome. I had experience being a detective before, and so I only spent like 6 months on the road, and then they moved me into SIS, which was our narcotics investigation and
Yep.
doing wiretaps and everything. And then I got the opportunity to serve with the feds, DEA. Did that. That was an awesome extent.
Nice
While I
run.
was down there, I met with some GBI guys and got recruited into GBI, and spent about 12 years with them, doing a lot of the same thing, some RICO cases, money laundering cases, big cartel stuff. And went back to DEA again, and
You
eventually
didn't work any gay
I didn't work in a gay. I did
gay
work
movie
when I was.
theaters or nothing like that, right?
Well, what I will
Well,
tell you,
bro.
what I will tell you, yeah,
Oh,
Roswell. When I was working at Roswell, I had to do an undercover thing, and it was for a massage parlor, and they
yeah,
would.
but no, I know how that ends, bro. And
Well, yeah, they
that's
thought it
a
was funny if they would just wait and let me while I'm giving the takedown
oh my
about
God.
5 times. My
Yeah.
wife's not gonna like this.
Yeah.
My wife's not gonna like this.
No, man, this
My
is
wife's
not
not like, and they're like giggling in the van. I'm
oh,
like, son of a,
that's it, man. Oh my
yeah,
God. Good
yeah.
times. Good times.
But yeah, until about a year and a half ago, and decided, hey, after 32 years,
Right.
it's
No.
time to live life differently and start to enjoy this. So it's been a blessing. The whole time I was buying real estate or buying or really essentially trying to add income streams to me. At first, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Right.
It was like everybody else. You know how
Right.
we've got all kind of wild ideas. I remember, I remember one guy, way back in when I was a baby cop, that he came in all excited. I'm gonna have this mobile shoe store, and we come up with the wild stuff, man.
Yeah, right.
Like everything from I did everything from multi-level marketing to a online training company, to a party bus. I had a bar at one point, another transportation company, another MLM, and then really started to get mentorship, and I started to get into real estate, started to
Right.
buy businesses, and started to make this thing actually work. So
Dude, you're wired differently. See,
yeah.
because when
We
like
all are, though. That's the funny thing. That's the thing see, I take exception to that. And that's where we sit in a pool of excellence. That's what's like funny is I look at John Kelly and I'm like, well, John's, what's so extraordinary about me? But we're all excellent. We go on that's why we don't really resonate with civilians, because we're like, you're an idiot that I had to come and solve your problem. I'm like,
right,
I mean, we all got problems,
right.
but my pool, my people are pretty damn excellent.
Yeah. Well,
And
I look at you and I go, I think a lot of times first responders get into the first responder career because it allows you to thrive
yeah,
at no risk. And I don't think, listen, for for as dangerous as the job could be, right?
yeah,
3 attempts on my life, like I got into it, right? You had
right,
you had those days as well, my friend. Was
right,
not a big deal, really. It
right,
was just
right.
like,
See,
okay,
this is what we're
but
normalizing
the
now.
thought of
Nobody
losing
else,
$100 though,
right. See,
it
that's the funny.
terrifies me.
Nobody else normalize. It's funny. Like you and I would go home. There have been times where there were like shootings going on, and we just like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm here, so there's nothing to report.
Right.
I'll report something when I'm
Yeah,
dead. That's
yeah,
I
when
was in
I
the
can't
hospital.
pick up the phone, man, then
Right,
worry, right?
right, right.
But like we stress and lament over investing in ourselves.
Mm. You know what's funny is if the chief or the sheriff came down and said, "Hey, John, um, all the duties that they typically would come down and put on our place, but what if he came down and said, "Hey, John, I need to establish, organize a bake sale, organize this fundraiser." Okay, it needs to be successful. You need to raise $20,000 in the next 2 weeks, and I need all the accounting, all this done, all this. The funny thing is, we'd find a way.
Right.
If it was a job given to us, as opposed to us giving and taking the job.
Yeah.
You even think about it. Think about all the times these guys have come down and asked wild stuff like, hey, you need to go out and lead the community. Hey, you need to go and, do the range budget. Hey, you need to do a proposal for this new, equipment we want to buy. Hey, you need to write a grant. Hey, you need to go and set up a warrant and takedown for all this stuff. All the
Yeah.
stuff we do. And we're like, I'm not sure I can do a business. Not only do you have the skills,
Right.
nobody can compete with you because you're trained to go like that. If they only knew, stop trying to figure out the how, but the who. If I want to do a successful podcast, guess what? I'm going to call my buddy John Kelly. He's been doing it. That's the who
Right.
that's done it. And John's going to say, hey, this is what I did in the beginning. This is how you do it. These are some things how to add. If we did that, man, we'd be off like a rocket ship.
And you know what, man? You're the who for so many people, man. Because all these businesses that you started,
yeah,
some of them were hugely successful, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say some of them failed horribly.
I think you were behind me. I think, yeah, 100%. I think,
right?
and guys, look out there, all you guys out there. I know some of you have. I'm gonna call it have had seminars. Okay, and I've had seminars. I mean, it's not great. It sucks. Telling your wife, hey, you lost $45,000. Of your investment money, because my ego. I realized that's what was going on. A lot of times is ego for us first responders. We're operators. We get things done. Well, I can handle that. I can figure it out. I'll get on YouTube or I'll read some stuff. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you know what? Hey, John, I don't know how to do a podcast. You mind helping me out? I mean, I'll even pay you, if we humble ourselves, we can pattern excellence. And that's what we don't do. That's how we get things done. And again, you're right. And until I had a couple of these losses, till God was like, hey, you want another loss, or you want to stop being a knucklehead?
Right.
And then I realized, you know what? Maybe there's a better way.
Maybe. And I think that's great. And if I may just tie that into how we take care of ourselves.
100%.
We're supposed to know everything. We're subject matter experts when it comes to fixing everybody else.
Right.
Right. But self-care,
right.
Do what's in my best interest,
right.
in my family's best interest.
Right.
You got silence.
Right.
And so it's you provide a blueprint.
Yeah. I hope so.
A framework and a real living, breathing person with a team.
Yeah.
That takes the guesswork out of it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, these guys, John, I wish you would be in on some of these calls and in our strategy meetings and working with these people. It's wild, man. Everybody from just buying some property to, we got one guy's developing a mobile cigar lounge. Shout out to Smoking Guns.
Smoking Guns.
Business, and just all the way up to these amazing AI softwares. We're raising $2.5 million for these guys because we believe in it. We vetted this out and we're like, hey, we believe it so much, we're going to help you raise capital.
Wow.
It spans the whole spectrum. We've got coaches, we've got speakers, we have, other consultants buying brick and mortar businesses. They're not just like, oh, let me do a program. They're getting it done.
Right.
This is generally, like you said, there's a little gap that they just don't know. And they've gotten themselves, or I have a great idea, or I believe I can do real estate. Okay. We have 25 years of doing investment in real estate. Let's not think traditionally. Let's help you and actually get results. And our mission are results. Mission is not for you to join us. That doesn't mean no good.
Right.
I need thousands of very successful first responders, because then they tell other people that say, well, it's not possible because I'm a first responder. No, they
Mm,
say I'm a wealthy servant. I
right.
serve by choice
Yeah.
and I'm wealthy. Who made up this thing that we have to be broke, live paycheck to paycheck? We got guys
Or,
coming us.
or, or, or be an alcoholic or go or have 3 or 4
Right,
marriages. Or right. We've been
right,
watching too many movies, man.
right, right. I mean, but what if we had the resources though, right? What if you had the resources to take it to your point? Like you heard, I mean, I see some of this and I kind of push back on the wellness a little bit. Like some of the things to deal with this every day, what's being poured into us is trauma.
Mm,
You go to a house and someone's screaming, someone is in pain, someone has problems to deal with. That's what's being poured into us. We have not extracted that out.
mm,
That's a leadership problem.
sure. Sure.
That's a leadership failure. Okay. It's part of our failure too. But when you don't know what you don't know, everybody looking around, John's dealing with it, Monty's dealing with it. I guess I have to deal with it. But what we don't know is how John's dealing with it, how Monty's dealing with it. And if we had the resources and John said, "Hey, buddy, I can see, I see the warning signs, what's going on, brother.
Sure.
You know, here's what
Come
you got.
walk with me.
Come walk with me,
Yeah.
Roger." Yep.
Yeah. Come walk with me. I love it, man. I love it. Wealthy servant. So I'm a first responder.
Yeah.
I've been, working my way up the ladder. I've always wanted, right? I have always wanted to get
Right.
into
Yeah.
real estate. Let's just say real estate.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, right? I don't know anything about it. I bought houses and I live in the house. I don't buy something and not live in it.
Right.
But there's a better way
Right.
to do things, right? Um, but you always hear, um, and again, because we don't go to the source, man. We got a
Mhm.
friend of a friend,
That's right.
right? And
Right.
like
100%. Yeah.
that's how we get our information.
Yeah.
Probably not the best. And so we don't know what the market's doing. We
Right.
don't know what a depressed property looks like. We don't know what we should be paying for it. We
Mm.
don't have a vision of what it we could turn it into.
Right.
You provide
Yeah. We
all
provide
of
this
that insight.
start, right. To start, thinking about that. You don't even know the questions to ask.
Right.
Does it, you said something that we actually is a cornerstone to what we do. Vision.
Nice.
See, we start with the goal. The goal is where it's where we come from, not go to. See, a lot of people.
Monty, say
Yeah,
that again, man, because that's
yeah,
powerful.
yeah. The vision is where we come from, not go to. Most of us are like, oh, I'll know what I'm going when I get this amount of money or I get this. No, here's what we do. What do you want life to be like? Well, Monty, I still want to serve, but I just hate the freaking pay they're giving me. Okay, let's do something about that.
Mm,
What's in your vision? Well, I do not want to work, more than 4 days a week on a side job, 4 hours a day. Great. Okay, let's figure out what you like. I like I like real estate. Okay, or I like buying businesses, but I don't want to work there. Great. Then we know that we're going to have to look at the numbers. There's going to have to be enough margin that you can hire a manager. That's cool. What if one of these businesses were cash flowing $5,000, but you only netted 1,000? That's cool. If you didn't have to do anything,
it's a
all you have
win.
to do is pick up the phone and say, "That's
Still a
not my
win.
job. That's John Kelly's job. He's
Right.
my manager," and
Yeah.
hang up the phone. Then we keep stacking. Oh, you don't have resources? Oh, you do understand that this is a fundable business. It's cash flowing. We go talk to John Kelly, Big Daddy Kelly. He's got all this money. It's sitting in the bank. It's not making him a good return. But we say, "Hey, Big Daddy Kelly, look at this. Look at this. Pro forma. Look at the numbers. It's cash flowing.
Yeah, it needs an influx of an infuse of cash, and this
I
is
want
the
to buy this."
return you're going to get.
Exactly. And here you go.
Wow.
And that's how we keep stacking the opportunities. There are a ton of people, like John, they don't really know what to do with their money. It's sitting in there and it's actually the bank is eating their money. They're only
Mm,
paying them 3 or 4%.
right.
Well, inflation is at 4.5%. They're losing money.
Sure.
So if you give them an opportunity, hey, here's a business that we can buy, or here's real estate, and you can have it's secured, why wouldn't they?
Sure.
As long as they trust you and they believe you understand what you're doing, which eventually you will, because that's who you are as a
Right.
cop. You pushed yourself as a first responder. You push yourself to do better. That's what you would do here.
Mm.
And that's what we teach you. And again, we're going to push you how to add additional income streams. Imagine learning how to do that, how to feed yourself. Well, here's an opportunity. Not only
Sure.
have you learned how to feed yourself, but now you're teaching other people, how to be an investor in, let's say, tax sales. Let's say you learn that. You think there might be a couple people out there that want to learn from you?
Sure.
Yeah. So we teach you,
Sure.
not only, we're constantly, how do we expand, your income streams? Because we want you to be truly, I know you'll be successful, but I
Sure.
don't want that to go away. Let's keep thinking.
Right.
Let's think steps ahead.
Sustainability, constant,
Sustainability,
never-ending
growth.
self-improvement,
Let's sustain
growing.
growth. And
Yeah,
then guess
man.
what? John Kelly wants to expand his podcast, or he's getting into supplements. Because we're in this powerful network. Great, that's an opportunity to invest with John,
Sure.
or he has an opportunity to build a development. Great, that's the whole point of being in this network and being with this community.
I think that, like, when you speak, Monty, right? I mean, everybody's brain, man, starts racing
They're so
because
smart.
you unlock the potential.
Possibility, right? The
Yeah.
possibility. But that's funny because you say, because, you know, again, think about how many times we had to be creative. Like, just as a cop, how the hell are we going to get in the house without, wrecking everything and killing
Right.
everybody and be creative? I mean, how many times have we seen the movie scene where he gets the pizza box and he, pretends
Yeah.
he's
Yeah. Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Those are stuff that we did
Yeah.
all the time.
Adapt and overcome, man.
That's
That's our
never
playbook.
done. That is like, we are, if they just realize they are superior, there is no problem. Well, what if this happens? You'll figure it out. Guess what? You've got a network to call.
Right.
There's nothing, again, but we're not like others. We have been trained and sharpened to handle, crazy issues. You will not fail.
No.
And then imagine being in a room with guys that have done it before. And then imagine being in a room with other people that are motivated and thinking, you're all looking at these issues and you're helping each other. Then you're like, well, shit, there's no way I can fail.
No
You
doubt.
go from scarcity and fear to abundance and damn, what else can I do?
Right.
And
Limits.
people say,
Limits don't exist.
What's that?
Limits don't exist.
Limits don't exist. And what's funny is I get this pushback. I don't have time and I don't have the money. And what's funny is, well, you'll make time for things that are important to you.
Mm.
Those things that are like, or somehow paying, a return to you. And that can be bad. It could be a vice. You're into porn. You're into, drinking. You're into drugs. Hey, you'll find time for that shit. Yeah.
Spending hours on end,
Exactly.
dicking around on a phone that's
Be
not
honest,
making you money.
right. Be honest with yourself. Look, we all have been there.
Right.
Because if you're the problem, you're also the solution.
Oh,
I'm the problem.
that
Yeah.
you took a chapter from my book there, brother,
Hey,
man.
I'm learning from you,
Yeah,
brother.
if
I'm
you
learning.
are embrace it, own
Right.
it. You're the problem. Guess
Right.
what? If you're the problem, you don't need anybody else to fix you.
100%.
You fix
100%.
you.
And that's where we come from. I'm not fixing you. I'm helping you.
Right.
My ultimate goal, one, is you have options. Two, is you to be wildly wealthy. So I call up John. Hey, I've got a real estate, opportunity. It's 40 acres here in Alpharetta, Georgia. We're raising $4 million. We project to do this. You in? I'm in.
Right.
I'll see you are. That's how they do in the civilian. When I go to these masterminds, that's what they do. It's crazy. I want a community that what we're building now is a community that is eventually, that's what we're going to have. That's what we're going to have, where we don't have to question. We still have that. I'm not sure about that sketchy dude over there. Well, we don't have that in this community. It's a vetted community where
Sure.
you got to have the same core values to even be in here. Yes, money's important, but having a purpose and value that's the key. That's what we start with. So, and it's just an amazing opportunity that we've had to be able to just be a small part in all these, all these folks, their success. It's blessed me. It gets me out of bed. I'm excited.
Right.
I intend to, we want to change the lives of 100, first responders. That is my 5-year goal. It's ambitious, but we're going to do it. We're
Right.
going to do it.
And, and it's one of those things, I think, that there's so much going on in people's lives. If they just stop for a minute
Yeah.
and breathe
Right.
and conduct an assessment on,
Wow. Powerful.
what do they want, man?
Right.
Because
Freedom.
listen, the sand in the hourglass, man, it's not slowing down, brother.
Right.
We are here for a finite amount of time.
Yep.
And so what do you want to do with that time while you're here?
Right.
You, I think a lot of what you do to, not only do you motivate, but there's that instilling hope that I can be better. I
Yeah.
can, and you take the guesswork and the fear out of that. And I think that that's huge. And I said, in a community that is fearless,
Yeah.
that will do things that most people will turn and run away from.
Right.
When it comes to investing in ourselves with an idea or a side hustle or developing a independent income stream, we don't use those same skill sets to attack it strategically as we would a barricaded suspect.
Right.
And you're the bridge.
Yeah.
You're the bridge for that. So and
I would have liked it there to, it's crazy, when we got into this, my fiance, man, I'm a visionary, she's an implementer.
nice.
And so she
That's
did
a great combination.
oh yeah, yeah, it's absolutely, it's really helped us. And what's interesting is, um, she, we know for what we, how we lived and how guys talked and gals talked, that there's probably a need, but that wasn't good enough for her. She's like, well, why hasn't anybody done this?
Mm,
And we did extensive research. Nobody has really done this. And what we found was, um, essentially, they used the wrong language. When they were marketing people, not everybody is at the same place. Does everybody want to make more money? Absolutely. But not everybody is willing to pay the price. Some guys, if you went into a room of 100 guys and said, who wants to make more money? They all raise their hand.
right.
The first guy would be, they don't even know why they're raising. They just saw everybody else raise their hand. The next guy is like, you know, he's not sure, but he's in a money hurt. He's looking for a lottery win.
Right.
Guy is, he's not sure what he wants at all. And then it's that fourth guy that he's committed. He's committed, to invest his time, his resources, his attention, and being vulnerable.
Mm,
That's who I want to work with because I know I can get that guy results. All
right.
the other, and that's something I had to learn
Sure.
that, yes, John, I wanted to help everyone. I mean, I was dragging people in.
Mm,
I didn't realize you can only help the people that are ready for the help, man. And it hurts me. It hurt my first, person because they needed it so bad. They were living beyond paycheck to paycheck.
mm,
And we were giving this away and they didn't value it.
mm,
And then what's funny is my mentor said, look, you put no value on it, so they put no value on it.
mm,
You'll be surprised how many guys are going to throw away $4,000 or $5,000 because they just want to feel better.
mm.
You're looking for the guy that's willing to invest in themselves to
Yeah.
make. Now, your challenge is to make sure they get those results.
Right.
So you confident? I said, damn right.
Right.
I've assembled the best team.
Sure.
I've got a performance coach that used to, coach with Fortune 100, executives, second to none,
Right.
second to none. And because of, our relationship, these guys have access to it. So all that stuff, the limiting beliefs,
Right.
money mindset issues, imposter syndromes, obliterated.
They go away.
Yeah, all you're left with is a vision. None of this shit about like, oh, I can't, I'm fearful.
Mm.
Hey, John, we got a SWAT call up. See ya. Boom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's easy, man. That's
Right,
easy.
that's easy.
Yeah, that's
But that's
awesome.
what we get to. Yeah,
That's awesome. Monty, if let's first talk about, you've got some events coming up.
I do. I do. I have a live event April 12th to the 14th here in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. We this is for our core coaching. We do it 4 times a year. We do different. We'll travel to different places to get people physically outside of themselves and to connect.
Right.
And these are events that they love. They love to see each other eye to eye and really bond. And it's an intimate event. We usually leave open about 10 seats for people that potentially want to join our community. They have to get vetted, they have to qualify, because again, we don't let anybody in our community.
Right.
We vet people out. We have people all the time that have money in hand, but they have crappy attitudes, and we're just
Mm.
like, sorry, it's not worth it. It is
No
totally
doubt. No doubt.
but this is an amazing event where it's going to be 2 days, well, actually 3 days of real business development, and we have some high-end people that have taken their business from 0 to $100 million. We've got some real titans in the real estate industry that's going to be on the third day. We have a panel of people so we can ask these questions. We're going to actually walk a property and break it down. The first 2 days
I
are going
love
to be
that. I love the hands-on nature
yeah,
of it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's what we love. The first 2 days are really poured into each other, really putting the issues on the table. Hey, man, I'm concerned about capital raise, or I'm concerned about, networking, or my sales process is broken, or how am I going to get more time? I'm thinking about using a VA because I'm still doing my job, and how do I get shit done? I'm not about problems, about solutions. Great. Now we've got multiple, brains in there. Multiple people looking at
And
these.
look at all that experience and expertise that people can pull from.
Yeah, exactly. And the only thing that we ask is people just be vulnerable. And what's nice is when we're in this room and we get to see each other eye to eye, we know what's going on. We able to like, hey, we got you. Don't worry about it.
Right.
And it's amazing. Yeah. So April, 12th through the 14th, Atlanta, Georgia. I think we have 3 more seats left. So if
Nice.
people want to, connect with me, and jump on, a qualifying call. We'll connect with somebody from the team. We'll talk to you and see if it's a good fit. If it's a good fit, I highly recommend it. Now, I
Sure.
guarantee that it will change your business, or really move you from stuck. If you have a business idea, it's really this is gonna be one event that you absolutely want to be and to connect with these people. It'll be life changing.
So Monty, on this is on several levels. Like, so if you're just thinking about and not sure, but that you want to move forward, but you're just not sure what it is
Mhm.
we want to jump on a call with you to maybe figure out that why and what it is within the parameters of what I'm thinking, utilizing your skill sets to narrow down what that second income stream, what that entrepreneurial opportunity looks like.
Yeah,
That's one potential client.
yeah,
The other one is somebody that's already on a path, already on the road. They
right,
have a business, and maybe it's not growing
right,
the way they want it to. Maybe they've come across some hurdles.
yeah, yeah.
And that's another client that
You do that all the time. Everything from, I mean, it doesn't have to be like, for example, I think I'm working with a guy in Louisiana, great guy, working his ass off, and 2 million lawn care business, and they're doing well. But it's time to scale, but they're fearful. So even in business, even when they take that jump, they're still fearful. But showing them how we can build this and how we actually leverage and make it from a side job to a business, and
mm,
then to provide some added value and some assurances. We've talked about adding some services, and like all they're doing is mowing the lawn, but now we're talking about, hey, let's add services to like some pine, some mulch, some firewood. Also, what else can we do since we're there? Let's think creatively. Your guys are there. Their
mm,
eyes and ears of what's going on with this house. It's a potential. Hey, we can do power washing. power washing of the driveway, power washing of the house. It's an
Mm,
opportunity. You either provide that service, or we talk to John Kelly. He's got a power washing, company. So
yeah.
we become an affiliate. So we've helped, a lot of these guys. That's what we do. By the way, what about the roof? We've done that where the guys have been trained. They've, partnered with a great roofing company. They've been trained to look at the roof and say, "Oh man, Mrs. Jones, we work with a great roofing company because it does look like maybe it's about to go. No obligation. Let's
Right.
see, and come out for free." This is a lead for the roofing company, and it just maximizes everybody.
That
Win-win.
network, man.
Yes, and what happens is they get a nice little cut. The workers they're excited because they're getting more pay. They're more
Sure.
motivated to get out there. You're making a little bit of extra money for nothing. We're teaching
For being observant.
yeah, exactly. We've changed it. We trained them with HVAC. We've expanded this guy's business. We can buy 5x by doing nothing,
Mm,
essentially. And they're like, wow, that's what we do.
sure.
We're not happy with the status quo. We want to make it into a business, and we want to then take it to the next level. Now he's actually entertaining the idea of franchising this thing. So
Isn't that awesome?
yeah.
That is awesome, man. Um, the best way to get in touch with you. I'm going to put all the information on the
Yeah.
show notes, but for somebody that's listening right now, Monty.
Yeah, thewealthyservant.com is a
Nice.
great way. There's a bunch of different links, ways of contacting me or my team. I'm My team has put me all over social media now, so
Yeah.
that's good for me. It's Monty B, Wealthy Servant. You put in any of those kind of
Monty having an iced coffee. Monty
right,
looking off into the
right,
distance. Monty
exactly.
pondering life.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
that
man.
don't be, hey man,
I
it's
love it.
yeah, you got to do it. You got to
I
connect with,
love it.
get out there. But yeah, and LinkedIn is one of my favorites. It's where I got started. I understand it. I need something simple. So
Yeah. Yeah,
LinkedIn,
you and me both.
yeah. I'm there. And yeah, connect.
I got an ask. I got an ask, brother.
Yeah.
There's a guy or girl going in to work on their way home,
Mm,
and they're fucking done, man.
yeah.
They 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 need the next thing.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
the next thing.
Yeah.
What do you tell them, man? What do you tell them?
Great. You know what? And we have this phrase. Um, we say slow down to go fast. Right now, things are coming at you, and and for those that are not quite there, but you feel it. That's what happened to me. I should have quit 2 years ago because I felt it. It changed.
Mm,
I thought I was going to die with my badge and my gun in my hand. But something happened. It changed. It was just weird. Before that happens, it's time to kind of slow down and really start to envision, what do you want life to look like,
mm,
and take away all the friction. Don't talk about, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't know how to do that. It's not what I asked you. What do you want? I promise you, if you can identify what you want, hey, I want to be the #1 podcast, in all of, North America. Okay. There's somebody out there that now we're starting to create a roadmap. That's the goal. Okay. Now we create the roadmap, how we get there.
mm,
If we start, well, I don't have this, I don't have
mm.
that, blah, 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 we'll stop ourselves. That's not how it gets done. And I hate when this thing, self-made. There's no such fucking thing.
Right.
Self-made businessman, self-made businesswoman. There's a team.
The caring of others, man.
Yeah. And that's what we've got mastered. We believe in working in teams and working together. But yet when it comes to us, we're having to show vulnerability and some things that we don't know. My growth came from when I, was humble and said, I don't know, I don't even understand these terms. This language you're talking, I don't know. What does this mean?
Right.
Syndication. You mean like a crime syndication? No, Monty. A syndication when it comes to real estate is how we acquire, we can acquire, a real estate, a commercial real estate property. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, didn't know that. Okay, let's teach you more. It's surprising, how many people want to help us.
Mm,
If we can humble ourselves and just take out a little bit of ego, and know that this is just something different. if we're in that stage of pain right now, slow down, figure out what you really want. Okay. And then let's figure out who's done that. Let's connect. Let's start to work our network and find out, if you're listening to this podcast, reach out to John, man. He has a vast network. If he doesn't know how, I promise you, he knows somebody that does.
Right.
That's the great thing of being on this podcast and being part of his world is, connect. That's what he's all about. Abundance, sharing. Ever since, I've connected with him, he's always made comments. He's always been, a part. And so I know he's about building this community. So if that is where you're at, reach out to a guy like him. If you're listening to this podcast, then it's a golden opportunity. I promise you, he'll DM you. I promise you, he'll call you, and we'll figure this out. Don't get stuck. Don't stay stuck.
Greatness awaits you.
Yes. Again, coming from, I don't know how people feel about their faith. It's something that I've, come back to really and leaned back into. It's very, personal for folks. But look, my belief is that God, poured into us. That is, he wants us to really accept our greatness. From that, I mean, it's given to us, and it's just sometimes that other thing that says, no, we can't. But it's there. Everybody has their greatness, man.
I was once told that I need to stand in my light.
When
you do that, you give permission to everybody else to shine, man.
100%. Yes. By the way, and John just said something super, super valuable. If you can't really figure out why you need to step into your greatness and why you need to do it, it's because of the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
They're waiting. They're going to be your witness. And they're going to be like, you're going to be the proof. If nothing else, do it for those that are struggling too.
Right. No doubt.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Monty Bynum, he is the wealthy servant. Do yourself a favor. You're not doing me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Check him out. I'm going to put the information on the show notes. He is a man of conviction and a man who cares, who knows that by adding value to your life, everybody wins, man. There's no competition. It's collaboration. And I love that about you. Thank you for making the time, brother.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate this. This was my highlight of my day. Thank you.
Oh, man. Mine as well. All
right.
And that is that, my friend.
Awesome, man.
Dude.